Many people forget that AI has been a field that's been 50 years in the making. The signs were actually very clear if you knew where to look, that AI will permeate across every sector and every industry that is consequential to the economy. Beyond that, what excites me is the potential for AI to elevate human potential over the longer term, over the 10 years. Of course, AI will be embedded in how we work, how we live, and how we learn. But for the first time in recorded history, every person on this planet with access to the internet through a phone or otherwise can have direct first-hand access to the top experts in any topic in a personalized, curated, interactive fashion. So my initial foray into AI, in fact, began in 2007 with an investment in a company that was an early pioneer in using machine vision for online media. In recent years, though, it became increasingly evident to me that we had reached a tipping point, an inflection point in terms of commercial viability and technical feasibility. My confidence in AI's trajectory, though, Nikhil, really increased as I witnessed key technology milestones being hit. In 2016, AlphaGo, which was an AI program, beat the world's first chess champion in Go. But then, shortly thereafter, in 2017, you had the invention of the transformer, which is one of the building components, one of the building blocks enabling today's AI revolution. 2018, 19, and 20 saw the release of GPT-1, GPT-2, and GPT-3. So in fact, for those of us who were immersed in the field, the evidence was clear. Almost every company we invest in because we believe it is special. We invest in about 1 out of every 200 or so companies that we actively meet with. So the bar is very high. If I look at the common denominators, I would start with the premise that in every diligence, we start with the test that is AI producing real quantifiable gains. For instance, we are investors in a company called Feedzai that is the global leader in fraud mitigation for financial services companies. Chances are, if you have logged into a bank account, Feedzai has been in the background to ensure that you are a legitimate visitor. U.com, they are developing a core infrastructure layer that will enable businesses to adopt generative AI. We think this is critical. It's one thing for the technology to be available, but it is equally, if not more important, for the technology to be accessible and practically usable. U.com is pioneering a level of orchestration and usability so that businesses can tap into the power of AI much more easily. Unsurprisingly, the company has seen absolutely meteoric growth. Just over the last 12 months, we have seen an exponential increase in both their business performance and the valuation. Tungsten Automation. Today, the company powers automation of document workflows. Think about accounts receivables, accounts payables in the office of the CFO at 70% of the Global 2000. It's called Zen Business. When we invested in Zen Business, it was quite early, about 4 years ago. And over that short amount of time, they have become the #1 destination where entrepreneurs go to form a new company. They have grown their product today, not only to help you start a business, but to help you scale it. Over 500,000 new businesses have been started on zenbusiness.com already. Today, they help you with financial planning, your invoicing, and increasingly, they're a personalized assistant that helps you with things like how do you communicate your business plan to investors. If AI can make a 5-person team punch with the weight of a 50-person team, that's very transformative. So at Omega, we invest behind those transformational businesses that harness AI to make critical infrastructure safer, to make our knowledge workers more effective, and to make our decisions more defensible. The killer use case of AI is augmentation. What differentiates the winners is that there must be board level endorsement of change with AI. So it must be sanctioned in something that it starts with awareness. But the companies should focus on measurable economics and credible guardrails, which include humans in the loop. So the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, estimates about 40% of jobs globally and nearly 60% in advanced economies are exposed to AI. But it's really important to emphasize that exposure doesn't equal elimination. However, there is no doubt in my mind that as we've seen with the internet, with mobility, and even prior to that, things like the Industrial Revolution and mechanization, we will see AI expand the size of the economic pie and hopefully improve the condition of humanity at large. Public policy should focus on things like talent development, reducing the information asymmetry. That's a word I heard a lot in Chile. What that means is just the sheer amount of awareness in the knowledge workers and the workforce at large in places like LATAM lags behind that of North America, for instance. But I think it's really important to not let regulation become a gatekeeper. Fix is operational. It's about having hybrid workflows where humans steer, verify the sources, and make the ultimate calls on mission-critical decisions. My discussions with government leaders have been around focusing on three primary levers. Data assets. Data is the fuel of AI. It's very important for Chile as a country to not just talk about digitization, but to talk about how can we harness our data and make it actually interoperable and usable in practice. Number two, talent development and awareness development. We talked about that. And finally, thinking carefully about the balance between standards and trust, but not over-regulating. The race isn't whether countries adopt AI, but how well they turn adoption into results, into ROI or productivity that can be measured, and in turn into growth of GDP, growth of exports, and a culture and a mindset of innovation. So I think about measuring competitiveness as clarity of thought and execution, but also capacity to execute. So it's clarity plus capacity. Chile is showing clarity through policy and leadership. If the country continues to invest in talent and trusted data ecosystem, I believe it can punch far above its weight. The winners in the AI race geopolitically won't be the ones with the most slogans, but those with the strongest compounding foundations. And I really do believe that Chile has the chance to be one of them. And so we are measuring change in days and weeks, not quarters and years. Realistically, the risk is that we must make sure that AI, like any technology, works in the service of humanity, that humanity is not working in the service of AI. Omega's role ultimately is to help management teams convert clarity into compounding results, measurable impact, along with credible guardrails. AI is when we started Omega, it was because we had the conviction that AI will be the single biggest driver of economic value creation for the foreseeable future. If anything, from 5 years ago, the results have greatly exceeded our lofty expectations. The companies we fund, one, because we believe they will be the most consequential and enduring companies that will define the future. But equally importantly, two, we are actively shaping these companies so that the products that they develop are beneficial to the world at large. In addition to being economically transformative, that they elevate and uplift the human condition. At Omega, though, when I'm taking a step back, we back companies that we think about as elevating human judgment, but at the same time ensuring that trust is inspectable. The winners will be teams who use AI, governed by human accountability, and verified by transparency. That's where you get real speed, scale, and legitimacy.